Hello everyone, and welcome back to another episode of Hermitcraft. And as you may know, my goal lately has been to tie up a few loose ends with some of the projects we've been working on. So I've been over here just taking care of some of the back of shops that have been left unfinished and tidying up a few needed details here and there, like this bridge that connects us from one area to the other. And of course, this is all in service of the view of Wall Street here. And now this area is looking pretty complete and finished. And as the moon rises, I realize this area looks kind of amazing at night too. The lighting is moody. There's some ambiance going on here. Oh no! The phantoms have arrived. Ah, pesky, pesky phantoms. Take that. So to conclude and wrap up our Wall Street project, we need copious amounts of wool. For I need to build the back of this building. However, I'm not going to make it look like a building. The wall blocks are going to be pixels in pixel art. I want to create a colorful view, some sort of scenic backdrop. It's kind of hard to fly through here. Yeah, some sort of scenic backdrop for the jungle that doesn't look like a bunch of buildings. And as I said, copious amounts of wool are required, and I'm very aware that our supplies are running low. Like, I'm going to need plenty of light blue wool, and we've only got a few stacks to hand. Now, I'll be blunt, I'm not 100% sure that this idea is the right way forward, but I think it's good to try these ideas. And where I tried it before, it looked really great. So this over here is my source of inspiration. So imagine that on a much larger scale, and that is why we will need to build a very large scale sheep farm in this episode. It's a fun project that I'm really looking forward to, and it's going to take us on a little bit of a nostalgia journey. But let's turn our attention to another project that I have wrapped up that is looking all good and dandy. It is the spawn chunks. And from the outside, it actually looks probably just about the same as the last time you saw it. But I've added in some connecting paths, and I've changed the quartz that we used to have on the floor here. The staircase is now made out of this crimson wood plank, and when we go into the center here, you can see that I found the colors that really match the bone blocks and the deep slate. So in the corners, we have a teal colored palette along with some quartz stairs, and in the central bits, we've got the crimson wood. And I've tried to lay out the logs so they appear more frequently in the center where the walking paths are. I think subtle little details like that you don't have to think about, they can often go a long way in your builds. I've also moved and overhauled the nether portal, and now I realize I didn't quite finish what I wanted to do with these maps, which was to just expand them over to the edges here. I've done that on this side, but not in the other spots. I will get around to that. The big thing is that the basement here is done, and it's where we're going to store a really interesting project. As you can see, we have a very clean looking room here. Opulence was the word that I was going for, and that's why there's absolutely tons of quartz on the floor and everything looks really clean. Now, some of these lecterns have books in them, and they are taking advantage of a really cool feature that we have on the server this season, and that is the stats lectern books. So these are stats that get updated whenever one of these players logs into the server. So what is behind this number? What is EFO number 1 at on this server? Let's take the book and find out. This one is animals bred. Oh yes, we can keep track of many types of statistics for all players and then have them updated to these lecterns that are in the spawn chunks. Let's go check out another one. Do I remember what this one is? Oh, it's killed pig. Ren, you are a filthy pig murderer. And I guess so am I. Now, obviously, we need to make this area look a little more interesting, and these things need to be labeled too. That might go here. It might go up there. The reason I'm undecided is that I actually want to add a little color to this area. So I picked out these really nice soft colors. Let's go with red since murder is the theme. And we're going to turn these into little murals using armor stands. We kind of dabbled with that last episode over at Wall Street. And I would very much like to continue trying to get better at doing that sort of creative expression. Oh, I've locked myself in the back area now. So I'm going to grab some items and armor stands and try and create a little scene within this space here around the lectern that tells the story of what this statistic is about. So we're going to find out what exactly I come up with after a message from the sponsor of this video. If you came here wanting to know what to look for when hosting a Minecraft server, then I can point you in the right direction. This video was made in affiliation with Logic Servers, who not only host Minecraft, but tons of other games too. They specialize in both web hosting and game servers, and they operate their own network infrastructure, meaning traffic management and hardware configurations are optimized for the task at hand. Best of all, they offer dedicated servers, meaning you can have a whole machine dedicated to Minecraft just like Hermitcraft does. You can pick from a variety of data centers with no extra charges for premium locations and see what CPU is on offer too. They also offer one-click installs for over 700 mod packs and other editions of Minecraft too, including snapshots and Bedrock. Interested? With promo code Xisuma, you can get 20% off, so click the link in the description box and get 20% off your first purchase. Ah, look at that. Look at that. Nothing's changed. I don't think the pigs killed statistic is actually that exciting. Plus, it got me thinking that I would need to get a pig's head, which means I would have to go around and kill a lot of pigs. Then I would become the person on the top of the leaderboard, and I kind of want these stats to represent different hermits through their stories of the season. And rather than using these softer colors that I think would really fit into this build, we can actually be putting blocks here that help tell the story behind the statistics. And that brings me to Scar. Can you guess what his statistic is? It's right down here, most deaths. So when scratching my brain, I could just picture this cartoon animation of someone dying and then floating up to heaven with wings and a halo around their head. So how did I do this? Well, we got feathers for the wings, and the halo is actually a sunflower. This was all done with armor stand magic, and if we click here and just turn that one off, you can kind of get an idea as to some of the funkiness that's going on around here. This one is in this position to put the sunflower right there on Scar's head. And I am learning lots as I do this, so I think in the future we might do a little bit of a run through creating a mural, and I can show you all the steps of the armor stands. But for now, we need to get back on track with the wool farm, right? However, more distractions. I bumped into my friend Jevin earlier today. Woo! Oh man, you're getting ready for Christmas.
Oh, I'll show you something in a minute. Hold on. So here's where we're at, right? So Cub stole my map area and made a map for the Poe.
I've seen this.
I've
yes.
banned him. I've banned him from that, and I told him if he uses it, it'll be war. And so this is like a revenge prank to that. If you look over at his horn shop, I've already been there.
Oh my goodness me.
Yeah. Attention, Hermit.
Okay.
Shop month is now over. Be sure your shops are built or you risk losing your permits.
All right.
It's a bit much, isn't it?
On the server, I made a note block arrangement for Jingle Bells.
Oh.
And I can show you that in a little bit. It was very hard to do. So I had the original record made, which I have in my hand, but I needed to edit it. So we're going to do a quick test real fast.
Oh.
And so
I think I just got his one. Yeah.
So I think this is the original. Yes.
Oh.
So it's really quiet. It doesn't echo. So now, oh, it's better. That's so much better. Yeah, let's
Making me feel all Christmassy now.
Oh, that's so perfect. It's so much louder. So the notes that you hear right now, I actually made, which was really hard. It was incredibly hard to do.
I like that you did it that way. That you did it in Minecraft to make it onto the music disc. That's cool.
Yeah. So,
dude, that thing's insanely loud.
It's perfect. It's perfect. Now I will spread my Christmas cheer to everybody. Now that I know that that's going to work, I'm going to go around and change all of them. And
I
so
disabled one of the towers, by the way. It was getting a bit much. I was working in the area, and so I put a block over the daylight sensor. So you might want to undo that.
Yeah, that's amazing. All right.
I think Birch would honestly be my third
Good
pick.
news, everyone!
Jeez.
The permit office is now open for business.
Louise. This would have been my first pick.
And we're closed.
Quiet,
Thank you, and have a wonderful day.
I get it.
Good news, everyone! The permit office is now open for business.
I'm gonna have to disable that thing.
The office of Hermit Permits.
Cub!
Working together for us all.
So 2 things. First, follow me. Are you ready? Get your rockets.
Yeah, I got my rockets.
This way.
Whoo! Off we go. Jevin, you have some things in your base that I actually wanted to show off. I've just been reminded. Mm-hmm. However, I think it's in your buildings. You got some new decorations.
That's what I'm about to show you.
Oh, wonderful.
So I'm assuming you probably know this already, but if you don't know this, if you make a map in the end, the map platform, you make it out of glass, the map is transparent, but you have to have trigger F invisible.
Yeah,
right?
that's because there's no blocks, there's void.
Exactly. So I took a lot of advantage of that.
Dude, this is so cool.
Lights. So these Christmas lights are 2 different maps that are basically just mirrored on each other, and they're flipped, right? Make garland, and then I think my favorite one is probably the window. Dude, right? Like this is the easiest map I've ever made. It's just like a bunch of pixels, right? I just ran around a map and placed snow down pretty much.
That is gorgeous.
And yeah. Love that. And then if we go downstairs, there's even more.
So,
yes. Christmas is my all-time favorite time of the year. It's like the best time of the season, and I love it. So I figured I'm just gonna force people to have Christmas this year. They're gonna get over it. I don't care. Yes, exactly. Okay, so follow me. I'll show you one more thing here before I have to get back to trolling. By the way, you said you had an idea for trolling Cub.
I do.
I am all ears.
I do. You know when he logs onto the server, it plays that sound.
Mm-hmm.
Have no fear, Cub is here.
Have no fear, Cub is now here.
Dang it, Cub!
Have no fear, Cub is now here.
Gosh, that scares me every time. I want to change that. I need to figure out how it works. I want to make it. I don't know what I'm going to change it to. Cub fan 135, I have found your secret. Look at this down here. What's that? Record disc player. Cub logon disc. This, my friends, is what has been shocking me.
Have no fear. Cub is now here.
It's so dang loud. And I am dreaming up a little prank. What if we replace that record disc with one where his voice has been altered a little bit? I am going to think on it, but for now, let's get back to our adventures with Jevin.
I've also been doing a little bit of pranking to some other hermits. I've put these noise things in their base to come out here to get free maps. Right, this is my like tiny little industrial district, right?
Okay.
And so this is where I built the map over here. So check this out.
Look at all those sheep.
Yes, this is that's actually Scar's doing. I had it way less, and then he needed it for his build and bred them, and so.
I see.
By the way, did you see the new change where if you breed the colors, it makes the result?
That's been in the game for a long time. I think
really?
I think it only just came to Bedrock or something.
I saw it on Twitter. That was probably it. Okay, so here is the entire arrangement that I made. It was awful. The hardest thing I've ever done, and I've built a lot. I did a netherite beacon. This was harder.
Dude, I thought you built it like in creative to record it. You actually built it.
No. Yeah. I absolutely I followed a tutorial and did it in creative and then Lightmatica it onto the server. So and then built it from Lightmatica. So but it was still a huge pain to do. So
see, because this is coming from the server, the timing can be a little bit off. In the past, this stuff used to be rotten. I remember doing this in season 3 for Corrales, and the timing was poor.
Anyway, let's do this. I've only tested this a couple of times, but I think everything is fine. And there come the drums. of time, but you can just about make out the song, which is good. And there's the drum beat. Yeah, it sounds awful because of the lag. But other than that, it would sound really good, trust me.
But now it's pretty slick.
One thing that really helps me build this, I found a texture pack that tells me the number.
I've got the same thing on my screen right now, yeah.
Yes, it's so helpful. So.
Oh, this is so good.
So that's what I have been up to, making a lot of Christmas stuff. And feel free to grab some maps, though. Like, there's one or two, you can obviously copy them. So just, grab one of each and then do what you need to do.
Yeah, I won't take anything right now. I'm going to think about where and how. But yeah, I'm definitely going to do a little bit of this. That's going to be fun. Awesome. What are you up to today?
I'm gonna start building a massive sheep farm at some point, and I was just trying to build a little mural down in the spawn chunks.
I am your sheep farm's number one source of sales. I buy so much wool from you.
Yeah.
I literally will put diamonds in your chests and then come to the nether and take wool out of there if I need it.
Got ya.
Because sometimes you don't have the colors I need, and I got
I know. I've neglected it for a while.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna work on it.
Though.
I'm gonna work on it today. I'm gonna build like a mega farm somewhere.
That's amazing.
So earlier in this episode, I promised you a little bit of nostalgia, which brings us back to Season 3 of Hermitcraft, where the spawn chunks are not too much to marvel at. I mean, there's a lot of doors, and there's a heck of a lot of dirt blocks. Oh, and I almost failed to mention the terrain. It was amplified. This was from a different era of Hermitcraft history. Almost 10 years ago now, I think Season 3 was. Here it is. Home sweet home. It was in this season of Hermitcraft that I built one of the most powerful sheep farms that we've ever built. And it's actually a long, long way away from this place, which was my base for the season. And it is surrounded by so many remarkable, incredible builds. Yes, that is Shrek with a mumbo-tash. Oh, the good old days of pranking where you just go and build a giant Shrek in someone's backyard. Oh, and if ever you take a trip to Season 3, you gotta remark on the Nether Hub. This is one of my favourites because it's an absolute mishmash of different ideas with a chandelier that is aghast. This was a seriously cool collaborative project. There are banner designs for all of the different portals that kind of represent what they are, like the End Dimension, Iron Golem Farm, a Witch Farm. In fact, there's a whole directory of them over here, including some familiar faces, Hypno, Biffa, Cleo, oh, and yours truly down here. And then you could use the banners up top to find your way to those different portals, and the portals were marked with banners. This was such a cool system. Look, there's two of me now. But seriously, I really think we could take some lessons from this Nether Hub. Mainly the banners thing and the patchwork arrangement of all these different tunnels and the way they link together. I absolutely love it. Oh, and I have no clue which portal goes to the farm that I want to show you. But luckily for me, I have the coordinates to hand. Oh, there it is right there, my friends. High up in the sky, we are at the Rainbow Fall Farm, which gets its name from the two sheep that are puking rainbows into each other. What's this up there? Oh, it's a wandering trader. Of course you'd spawn on the roof. You weren't even in the game back then. Get out of here, you scamp. Okay, what I would like to do is bring back the farm concept that we have here, but also update it because Minecraft changes over the years and we can now use dispensers automatically, where I would once have to come over here, pick which color I wanted to farm, and AFK in front of it with some shears. I think they used to come through the dropper. There you go. Right, I need you to head down to the comments and tell me if you've ever seen this farm concept before, because I feel like I haven't seen it anywhere else since we built this back in Season 3. Let me explain what's going on. Sheep like to pathfind upwards, and they can actually see grass at the end of the path that is higher than where they currently are. So they will naturally traverse from one end to the other. They get caught in this trap with a fence post to push them up. We got ladders, and then we got water to push them back out onto the next platform. And you know what they do when they're there, right? They start pathfinding across and upwards to some grass that is higher up. So they will keep doing this over and over again, not realizing that they're in my mischievous contraption devised to shear them. Oh, it looks like they might be a bit glitched out here. I think there's supposed to be some carpets that like hold them in so they don't clip out. Yeah, it looks like a lot of them group up at this stage. But anyway, when I stand back, you can see that occasionally one pops out and it falls down, and that means that we can shear it. And when it reaches the bottom, it can start the cycle again. But of course, this is all made out of grass. So after we've sheared it, it can regenerate its wall on this path that it takes through our farm. Okay then, we're now in a test world where I've updated and revised that original design. It's a little more compact because the thing is now automated, so I didn't think it needed to be built on such a large scale. And the process for shearing them is really simple. I've got a lazy clock that's built here with some observers. We can override it activating the dispenser just by powering it like this. But if there's no sheep to be sheared, then the shears do not lose any durability. We can also stock them up with this hopper here and collect any wool in the chest down the bottom. Now, I know this works, but we're going to have a little bit of fun with a feature called tick warp. So, whoops, let's leave that open. First thing to do is to get some sheep inside of the farm. And straight away, you can kind of see what they're doing. They're pushing each other along. They're going around the farm the way that we want them to. So with lots of sheep in the farm, we're going to run tick freeze. And we've essentially paused the game. Look at that. We can see the wall in midair. Let's say we want to advance the game 1 tick. We can do that. Or we could advance it 1 second. What we're going to do is ask the game to sprint. It's going to run as fast as it can for 60 seconds. Here we go. Oh, wait, and then it paused? That was weird. I think it just simulated 60 seconds of game time in like half a second for us. In which case, let's multiply that by 100. This looks a little bit wacky. They're all getting stuck at this level. Okay, I think tick rate might be the thing we're actually looking for. Let's increase the game's regular running speed by 10. Let's add a few more sheep in the mix. And yeah, it's clearly now running at about 10 times the speed. But we can see they do actually all cluster on this level here. I was not expecting to run into an issue like this. I mean, the farm still works, but why are they getting clustered on that level? I think it's because I missed a few important blocks. Now, I thought the carpets on the side had something to do with their pathfinding. Maybe them seeing a block of grass that's closer to this side than the opposite side. But now when I spawn in the sheep, you can kind of see them race straight across. And eventually this one will go across the other side. Oh, there it goes. It just whizzed by and then it went up again. And then those ones went down there. Okay, this is starting to look a lot more like the normal process. Let's, however, put a lot more sheep into the farm. And would you look at that? They get clustered on this floor again. So I decided to build the farm again with just 2 floors. And I ran into the same issue. But when I came back to check out the design in this world, I noticed what was going on here. Look, all the sheep are getting clustered at this point, like we observed earlier. But now that the farm's been running for longer, you can see that they are eventually failing to fall down and go back through the farm again, and they get grouped up in this spot. So I built a 2-floor design here, and then I changed this little bit so there's more space for them to move around, and that seems to have solved the problem. Let's go ahead and increase the tick rate and watch them go around. You can see it works just fine now. And this is the design I'm going to go ahead and build on Hermitcraft. Location, location, location. With a farm like this, housing lots of entities, that being the sheep, I would normally go far, far away from where anyone else is playing. However, we only need to go far away enough. So, although we can see this area, well, partially over here, that's because the Bobby mod is loading some of those chunks. And when we get over to this area here, we're not actually loading the area behind us in the distance where Smallish Beans and myself are playing. So this is going to be a good spot. It's far enough away. But because of the Bobby mob that we use on the server, I can see B-Dubs' base off in the distance, but once again, it won't be loaded if B-Dubs is in that area. So here it is, the farm has been tiled 16 times over, and it's all ready to go, but we've got one big problem. There's no sheep inside of it. So I got to get some over here, but before we do, I've made two little notes. One of them is that I forgot to mention this thing is constructed entirely out of grass so that the grass can spread back to the blocks in the middle that the sheep walk across. So that helps them regrow their wool faster because the grass will return to where the dirt is. We also used a fair bit of glass to create this farm, which means we got to head back over to Loglands where I was using our massive smelter array. This thing has had an issue that I'm happy to say has finally been resolved. On occasion, I would smelt up a bunch of stacks of items, I would come over here to collect them, and a couple would be missing. Is this my fault? Have I been a complete derp? Or am I just going a little bit mad? I wasn't sure until my buddy Cybot pointed out what the issue is. So this is the track in which the minecart brings back the items we've smelted. If we head up to the top here, you can see that we've got the little contraption that dismantles the minecart and puts the items into the hoppers to go into the chest. Well, this minecart passes over two hoppers on the edge here. Now you'd think that that's not going to be a problem, but this is Minecraft, it can be quirky, and look at this. This is where these items I've been smelting have been disappearing to. Finally, the mystery is solved, and I wasn't mad. They were going into those hoppers. So yeah, I'll have to reconstruct that rail at some point, but not right now. Right now, we need to get our hands on some sheep and get them over to the location of our farm. So last time we did this, we came over here between Cub's incredible biome and Cleo's area, which, by the way, look at this. I was staring at this and I was thinking, what is the red stuff that's on the skulk? I can see redstone down there. Well, it turns out if we look in a little closer, it's actually redstone blocks with a layer of skulk vein on top of it. The closer you get to it, the better you can see that. Also, I've totally just spotted some allays down here. What are they doing? Okay, they're holding oak wood. Is there a farm here, or are they just for decoration? They've just been given some wood blocks. I'm not sure. Right, distractions aside, we've come back to this location because there are some sheep here that we can take. And this time we want to get them into boats. Is this going to be easy, or is it going to be hard? We use the wheat to lure them towards the boat. Hey, we got two in like that. Let's put this boat here, then use the wheat. Here, buddy, 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 buddy. Okay, and now we've got to remember how to fly. Oh, let me out! There we go. All right, we got 4 sheep. I'm going to leash... No, that didn't work! Oh, get back in the boat! Get back in the boat! There we go. I guess I might have to use the hotbox. Hotbox! That's the wrong word. Hitbox here. Okay, should be able to leash the boats. Excellent, we've done that. Now, the trick last time was to sort of go in a straight line. Like, you don't want to be shooting upwards with your rocket. You want to be gliding sort of level, and that seemed to do absolutely nothing. By the way, this part of the episode is brought to you by my Twitch chat, because I am actually streaming as I record this, and they are suggesting a pre-dangle. I could do a pre-dangle. I think we might need to go a little bit higher, though, because when I drop down, they're going to drop down too. So we're going to do the same gliding technique, but this time they're already flying. Well, I'll do this in 2 trips then, because we got one of them. Oh, no! Whoops. Oh, no! They're not pre-dangled. Oh, my God. Oh, my God, we kept them. Oh, look where you're going, X. Look where you're going. Oh, I'm an idiot. I realized I was flying upwards too much. Oh, well, we'll get there eventually. I guess we're taking them on another pre-dangle, right? So, level. Right now. Oh. I do not like how close we are to stuff. Oh, Ren's got an Enderman head. Oh, I lost them! Come on! I thought we were doing so good. This is basically a good learning experience though, right? Right, now we can... oh, that's got to be too much, right? No, we're good. Okay, let's keep this altitude and do that. Right, now let's start the turn. Did it just break? Oh, what? I'm not sure if I like this. I had a look for sheep that were nearby, and I didn't see any the other day. Had I thought of that sooner, you know. Where were y'all the other day? I did see a wolf around here, actually, and I thought that guy probably killed them all. There they are. They're the wolves. Right, I'm on the lookout for wolves as well. If any wolves come over here, I'm going to be fiercely... Oh, speak of the devil. I'm sorry, if you go after my sheep, buddy, you're getting it. Oh, you got it. You got it. Did you see his eyes turn red? He was going to attack those sheep. Long story short, I got some sheep in here and I was able to breed them up. So now what I got to do is kind of divide them into each of these lanes, which might not have enough space. I kind of want to breed 32 of each color. Maybe it would be a little bit smarter just to do one color at a time and get them inside of the farm. But here's the way that we're going to do it. We're going to break away these 2 blocks, then lure them over to the edge, and they're going to fall safely down into the water. But before we can do any of that, I've got to spend a lot of time over here breeding and dyeing these sheep. Well, that only took me a couple of hours, and now we have a very satisfying sight in front of us. There should be 32 of each of these, but along the ways, some mishaps happened, like a sheep glitching through a fence. So even though it doesn't really matter, I'm going to give them all a proper head count before I send them in. And the sheep over here are going to go first. There should be 32 of them in total. So I'm going to drag them out into this space back here and just double check before we send them in. Let's now skip ahead in time because it was kind of painful moving them all in there. I didn't have it prepared in the best of ways, but now behind me, you can see the sheep are going round in rotation. And this farm has now been running for 3 hours. So let's go and open these chests. Look at that. A crazy amount of wool. And I don't have a particularly good way to access them right now. It seems like there's maybe, like less red, more brown, more black. They should all have 32, but you know, counting sheep can be a little bit awkward when they're all close together and they move around. But if there's some minor differences, I ain't bothered because now we got stupid amounts of wool for the rest of the season. That being said, I do have to AFK near this farm because grass spreading is reliant on the player loading the chunks. And apparently on a server, animal movement is based on the proximity from the player. So up the top here, I created an AFK platform that's linked to the nether dimension. But when I'm up here, none of the sheep move, which was different from the testing that I did in a single player world. So I'll tear this down at some point, and apparently it's been snowing. I did think it looked like a cloud for a second, but as you know, I play with the clouds off in this game. The other idea about having a platform up here was that we wouldn't be loading any entities other than the sheep, right? You can see I've gone around here and torched up the area to stop hostile mobs from spawning, but if I'm going to be in there, you know, then they're going to spawn in caves and stuff. But hey, this isn't like the old days of Hermitcraft. We've got powerful hardware, and I'm pretty sure the server's going to be fine.
Awoo!
Hey, Joe!
Welcome. Hey, Xisuma. Oh, I see you got your wolf hat on. Maybe I should have gotten mine.
I didn't know you had a new name tag shop. I was flying all over the place. I even went to where all the shops got locked up, and I was just completely clueless.
Yeah, so this bunker is the entrance. And this is going to be a whole minigame area. So the name tag shop part is right here. They're just on sale for 3 diamonds per name tag. But it's going to be a team PvP game.
Ooh, that sounds cool.
Attack and defend style based on the Dust Bowl map from Team Fortress 2. The spectator area is going to be up here, so people can come up here and watch the game from above. I haven't got this all dug out and built yet, but
it's a big project.
I'm really excited.
Big project.
Yeah, you know me. I love big scale projects. It gives me something to do on stream when I'm talking to the viewers. You know?
Now, question: are you going to need any wool for this build?
Not to my knowledge, but why? What were you?
Well,
what were
if
you offering?
that would have made a great segue.
Okay.
And I
then,
like
oh my gosh,
segues.
Xisuma, so much wool. I can't wait to
that's the
solve that
attitude.
problem. Yeah, let's go.
All right,
Where are we going?
Do you have some rockets?
I do have a few, yeah. Oh, so did you make a new farm, maybe?
I did. Yeah. I want to show it to you.
Oh, I'm real excited.
Okay, let's drift down gracefully. You can check out the farm, but before you look in any of the chests, I want you to guess how much wool will be in them. This farm's been running for 3 hours, okay? And it's automatic.
3 hours.
Yeah, I don't have to
Okay.
do anything.
Sure. So because the shears can be automated with the crafters now. So you've got like an iron farm that's like making shears.
There's no crafting, but there's loads of shears
No.
pre-stocked. So it's
okay.
dispensers shearing the sheep. That's the automation.
So I'm watching this, and it seems like it's getting one wool every 5 seconds. So 3 hours is 36 times 3 times 5. So 15 times 36. Give me a second. I'm getting my calculator out here.
I was about to say, you want a calculator for this?
I would say 840 stacks.
840 stacks.
In 3 hours, yeah.
Okay. I was expecting you to guess a lot lower than that. So
Okay.
I thought this was a good result, but it's not 840. It's however many that is. That's like
That's
40?
30. Yeah, that's still 40 stacks an hour.
It's pretty darn good, isn't it?
Now, the thing is, though, I will point out that that's in one color. Across all colors, you actually are getting 640 stacks.
You mathed all 16 colors.
No, I didn't, but
that's
it
what
makes-
you're now going to say.
But now that I'm looking, but like when I was looking at the farm, I was like 840 doesn't seem weird, because when I sanity checked it, I was looking at the thing and I was like, yeah, that seems about right for something this big. And for something this big, yeah, overall with all the colors, you're going to get about 640 stacks in 3 hours.
Yeah.
Great job. We just got to go. You need to get Mumbo over here and be like, look, Mumbo, I'm doing my redstone. Where's your stuff?
Yes. Yeah, he owes us some redstone.
Yeah. We need to shake him down over that.
That's a good idea. That's a good idea, Joe. So earlier in this episode, we talked about building some big pixel art behind Wall Street. And I am happy to report that that's now all being constructed. I filled up each of these shulker boxes full of wool. And only 2 of these colors didn't get used. Can you guess which 2 didn't get used in the creation of this? All right, so comment down below with your guess. And right now we'll just look at a couple of different angles of shots of the area that we're going to fill in with some pixel art. So in my mind, for the longest time, I've had this vision of seeing the sky with clouds, a rainbow, some land with grass on top of it, behind all of Kralis's beautiful trees. Initially, the idea was to create an illusion of something beyond the trees, but with wool being so heavily saturated, it's going to be more of a stylistic statement. And from over here, you can start to see little bits of it. But I think the best way to view this is from inside the jungle itself. You can start to see a little bit of the rainbow. All right, and as we come forward into this more open area, some other elements of what I've done should start to reveal themselves. And you know what? I think it looks pretty cool. So the edge over here, of course, spoils the illusion. It's almost like you want this to go on forever in each direction for it to make sense. But as we move around, you might notice a little tortoise hanging out. We've got a classic Minecraft dandelion growing off the ground. The sound of a motor engine. Sounds like bees. Sounds like a bunch of buzzing bees. Where were we? We got a duck. We got a flying bird. And we got another classic Minecraft poppy over here. At the other end, some trees, and I think the newer art style for the poppy over here. So very Minecrafty in nature. And no, I did not wing this in survival mode. I had to do this one in creative mode first. I think I could have winged it if it were flat on the ground because it's easier to look at. But when you're building vertically, it's so hard to see what you're looking at, and going back and forth would have just been crazy. So going into this, I knew exactly what I needed over a shulker box of light blue wool. So we were well and truly prepared by creating that farm. And as always, I'm left with a few loose ends to tie up. We've got a gap over here. And then there's this view, which I'm seeing for the first time. I'm not sure if it's going to work to keep that there. Maybe I'll build something that goes across the front of it. And last of all, it's probably one heck of a view from the inside. Oh, yeah, that's actually really awesome from the inside too, right? you can appreciate it sort of in the same way, although the end gets cut off. Ah, look at our cute little tortoise hanging out over here. This has been just a wonderful project. And of course, I wanted to show you this all unobstructed, right? So here it is in the creative world where I put this together. That's the full picture there. And I gotta say, absolutely love how this looks. Once again, I've strived to challenge myself, and look at that. We've created something really unique on the server. But before we wrap this one up, we've got to head back to the spawn chunks. It's over here that we have a record that plays when Cubfan logs in. So be on the lookout if you're in a stream, if you're watching one of Cub's episodes, because, well, that record has been altered. That's all I'm going to say for now. And I found the time to fly around and do the maps that are at the edges of this room here. So it's all coming together. And I think what I'm going to do on my live streams is try and create a mural, each one. So slowly this will fill up, and I'll be showing you these as we do them in future episodes. But that's going to be it from me this one. Really hope you enjoyed it. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you soon with another one. Bye-bye.